Welcome to the Crafty Boys, where we sit around, talk about stuff, and drink beer, and give you a sort of a review. So welcome, boys. How's it going? We're down a guy today. Dave is too ill, or he's already drunk. So, but Locke is here. Alan is here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I can hear Shane more or less normally, except for the crackling, but he's moving in slow motion.
That's interesting. What was he doing that before we went live?
I don't think he was doing slow motion before we went live.
All right.
I have no idea. I have no explanation for what the hell's going on, other than your computer sucks. I don't know.
I do hear something. It sounds like a rat is chewing on somebody's microphone.
I know. I hear that too.
And it wasn't like that before we went live. I don't know. Whatever. Let's go with it. All right. Well, so what's
I have no idea what the hell's going on. The internet sucks. Welcome, boys. This week we were going to have the beer we hoped, but that's okay because it didn't work out. We all don't have the same beer. So what did you guys get? Let's start with Locke, being that he's furthest away. What beer did you find?
So to commemorate the amount of time that I've been spending out in Muskoka very recently, I am drinking the Muskoka Brewery Craft Lager. Like the region it's from, Muskoka Craft Lager is a getaway from the average. Carefully aged and handcrafted to be uniquely flavorful yet easy drinking. This tasty beverage clocks in at, where is the alcohol content? Here we are, 4.8% alcohol per volume. And so what does it taste like? Refreshing, clean finish. I don't know if I agree with them that there's really a lot of flavor to this drink.
No?
That's not to say that it's bad. And for this type of beer, perhaps, powerful flavors are not not the aim. This is a thirst quencher more than it's a loaf of bread. And does it quench the thirst? Yes. On a hot day, which it is. It's plenty warm out here right now. This is cool, refreshing. It is that kind of beer. Now, as reported earlier, I did today pop into Craft downtown Toronto, which had on tap product from Superflux out in Vancouver, which immediately, yeah, it was, wow, cool, neat. I remember seeing those guys starting out, gypsy canning lines and all of that. So seeing their product in Toronto was pretty exciting. So I ordered one. And just for fun, as a side-by-side, I also ordered a beer I did a couple of weeks ago, which was the From Beyond. And did a little side-by-side. And what was revealing about that is a couple of things. First of all, that From Beyond is really a strange beer. It's not really like anything else I've had. It's not like anything else currently on the market, if I'm going to be blunt. It's as crisp and clean finishy as this beverage here, but the flavor profile is way different. And putting it next to the Superflux convinced me that no, it's not trying to be some sort of hazy IPA. It's nothing like a hazy IPA. It's very, very odd. It's maybe again, a little short on flavor. If flavor is something that you're going for, you want something that's going to taste powerful. No, it doesn't do that. It's not trying to do that. It's subtle. It's thirst quenching, but it's not at all like Superflux's colored space. That is a whole other kettle of fish. That is resiny. It's like, there's something about the haziness that it's not fruit juice haziness. There's notes of wood sap and pine and like bow rosin. If anybody knows any violinists or cellists out there,
I'm sure somebody
really notice it. It's a powerful flavor. It's good. It's a good flavor, but it's got that bitterness. It's sort of acerbic. It's got that West Coast IPA sort of pininess to it. Not at all the case with From Beyond. So that was just an interesting discovery. So that's what I have to say about beer right now. Alan, what are you drinking?
Well, I'm going a little bit off the board this week. I'm actually not drinking a beer per se. So this is something that I've been seeing on the shelves a bit. I've actually had it before, but it's hotter than balls here right now out on the West Coast. And on a hot summer day, when I was a kid, I used to have a Hires root beer. So Hires root beer was a type of root beer, and it kind of went out of business in, I'd say, the late 80s, early 90s, because Barks came on the scene and kind of took it over.
Yeah.
But Hires has come back with a vodka-infused concoction.
Oh.
And I'm kind of beaming it out here a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shane.
There we go. We can see that.
And so I thought I'd do it on the show and see what we can come up with here. So this is the
Shut up! I know it's not beer, but you don't have to bark about it.
Well, so it's been said that Barks has bites, so.
Sure. All right, so it looks like root beer. It really smells like root beer, and I've had root beers that are infused with something before, like other kinds, and it always tastes kind of medicine-y. And that's a bit of a problem. This here does not. This is dangerous stuff. This tastes like root beer.
Huh.
Like, you cannot taste the alcohol. It is 5%. But wow, is it ever good? And it's refreshing. And this is dangerous. Like, you could pound back a couple.
So it tastes like
you could set up an office party where you pour everybody a root beer and then another root beer and then another root beer, and before everybody knows it, that office party is really hopping.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, well, that's one.
And what's so cool is, like, I mean, this is like available like everywhere, and it's pretty cool. Not expensive either. It was only like $3 a can. Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is something that's happening a lot these days, where you have all of these different organizations that are making their own typical stuff. I mean, I was caught. Because you told me, Alan, what you were having this evening, I mentioned it to a friend of the show, Julian, up on our rooftop, and he was quite scathing in the root beer vodka mixture. Because there was also, of course, there's also been this trend where all the companies are making pretty much the same sort of thing. They have some sort of fruity drink or some sort of soda or pop or whatever that they just add stuff to, and then it makes life difficult for everybody else. So, But here's you and I. We have actually had this conversation before about different mixtures of different alcohols that some beer as well, Radlers, I think particularly, where we have seen a lot of the, you know, I could drink this all day kind of experience where the alcohol is so incredibly hidden by some sort of sweet flavor that you don't realize you're drinking, something that will, cause you to drive, expensive machinery off a cliff somewhere. But
yeah, other ones in the same space, I have noticed. Pop Shop has released some alcoholic versions of their old recipe soda. Really? Now you can get Pop Shop non-alcoholic stuff at various outlets. But you can get alcoholic versions as well, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Get a lime Ricky with a little bit of kick to it,
All right.
That's good stuff. Anyway, the Hires root beer, I highly recommend it. If you're not really into having a regular beer, get that. Now, like I say, there are other root beer products on the market that are like this, but they don't taste as good as this one. Nowhere close.
Okay, noted.
Shane,
what are you drinking?
Tonight I'm drinking. To be honest, I've been drinking a couple of these already today.
Evidently, your camera.
This here is what remains of my Citra Down. It's a juicy IPA from Red Truck Brewing, straight here in Vancouver, across the street from me. But it's essentially a smash. They call it a smash IPA, but essentially it's just a very light, hazy alcohol. So it's not bad. It's been on the show before, unfortunately. So to be honest, this as well as the Holland Some Mass, the Northeastern IPA that they make. This one is more West Coast. Oh my God, how many have I had of these? I don't actually remember.
West Coast.
Wow. Overall, it has a very.
I will now be looking for in beers generally. Is it West Coast?
Is it West Coast? But the big thing is it has a lot of Citra hops being used, which gives it a very sort of lemony kind of flavor to it, which is nice. And it gives it a light flavor, which is the big deal, I think, for a lot of that sort of style of beer. But overall, I give it a thumbs up. It gets the job done, and tastes good while that job is happening. I don't know what else to say. What is that noise? Alan,
like
what is your?
It's the
your
Geiger.
microphone is freaking out.
I think it's yours, dude.
Me?
Yeah, I think it's yours.
I'm sure it's the radiation that's being.
All right, well, here, I'll be right back.
And the host has left.
The sound is still there because my mic was muted, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
So I've been muting my mic occasionally.
I don't think it's your mic. I think it's your connection to your mic.
Oh, maybe.
It got worse when you did whatever you just did. It sounds like fire. It sounds like something's burning.
I think it sounds like a Geiger counter. I think it's reading the level of radiation that's.
Let's find out here. Oh no, it's coming from Locke.
Is it me?
You're making all kinds. You're making all kinds of popping noises.
All right, hold on. I'm going to turn my volume off.
About time.
Went away.
Holy.
Wow, that's weird. I thought it was Alan.
God,
but anyway, overall, the beers we have this week are an eclectic mix. They're all over the place, but they're pretty good.
All right.
I'm just waiting for that noise to return.
Yeah. Is he back?
Nope. He's muted himself, but basically he's totally
All right.
silent now.
So
Anyway,
what are
Alan,
we going
you're
to talk
saying.
about?
Well-
so okay, you know what I want to do? I think we should
Okay.
talk about. Remember what I showed you before we went live? The your childhood.
I don't think we can
ruin?
have that on the. This is a family show, Alan.
I don't think it is.
We
It really
can't
is.
have that again. I'm sorry.
It isn't. It
What
really
is
Put it
this?
away.
Now you have to tell me what it is. Now you have to tell the
All right.
audience this because you've already.
There's a face. Unfortunately, it's a Facebook group. I don't know if it's available elsewhere.
Okay.
Called "Your Childhood Ruined."
Oh yes. Okay.
And
Yeah.
what they do is they take our books that we read as children, like the little golden books and stuff like that, and they picture them and they retitle them.
Okay,
Very
so-
adult titles, and they're hilarious. And if Shane could maybe bring up some,
I'm just trying to find it here. Okay, so let me share this with you. You're going to love it, I'm sure. Okay, so this particular thing we're going to be sharing here is this thing. Now, this, of course, is a Facebook group called Your Childhood Ruined. And essentially what they are doing is they're taking a lot of childhood books, and they're, as Alan said, they're changing the text to this. So right now, this is Let's Get Some Wizard Dick, which, of course, is Cinderella. And this is probably a Disney book. And it basically is a series of the same thing over and over again. By the author of the Nancy Drew books, the twat who fucked up our party with their shitty guitar. This is the Hardy Boys. Then if we move on, the cat who was a shady motherfucker. I'll need the money up front. But essentially, this is probably some sort of, I don't know, kid's book of some sort. I can't imagine what this kid's book would be about, except a cat.
That's shady.
How to impress girls with the power of farting.
Shane wrote that one.
Yeah, that would be me. Kitty accidentally discovers her bondage fetish. Now, this, of course, is probably one of my favorite ones. Because, reasons. Then, of course, we want to shut the fuck up while Daddy hits his pipe. Now these are one of those. You can tell by the edging here. This is one of those golden. What are they called? The golden.
I think they're called
whatever.
little golden books.
Little golden books. Yeah. You never look at my asshole anymore. That one's self-explanatory. The haunted Tinder hookup. Wanna bone. That's a Nancy Drew mystery. Here's the thing. Now, when I discovered this page over the weekend, I discovered that it was. I started recognizing book covers as I went on. It took 96 trips to deal with all your bullshit. We're here to chew toys and lick our assholes, and we're all out of chew toys. Skeet, parakeet from the window to the wall. Fuck you, you're cute. Yeah, that's a new one for me. Please wheel me away from these dumbass motherfuckers. That one is a pretty, that's a good one. I'm calling out all you Flashback from a public toilet right up my asshole. It's a He-Man book, even better. You're a gigantic piece of shit and can not be flushed down a regular toilet. My asshole is just when Mercury's in retrograde. Insects that freak me the fuck out. How to make a necklace with the bones of your enemies. Featuring Ernie from Sesame Street. That's my favorite so far. IDU was allergic to assholes. Man, that's always a good one. Little duck yelled, "Fuck, fuck, fuck." All right. What's up your ass? Oh God, Jesus. What up, Dick Neck? All right, that's a pretty good. I think that's pretty good. The little fucking shit. It's just like their parents. Urinal cakes aren't candy. Medicated enough to seem like a happy family. Now I gotta say, that one. I'm trying to remember the name of this family. This is a particular series that I just can't think of. Do you guys remember it all? This is probably we're a little old for this series.
I don't, but the cat in the lower
This down here.
right-hand corner, yeah, looks suspiciously like the same cat that appears in the Furry Freak Brothers.
That would not surprise me.
I think I've seen this family before. I think they're called the Burleys.
Moving on. Why the fuck did I eat an entire 5-pound tub of Twizzlers? You know, to be honest, I might have done that once. A few too many Twizzlers. I feel this sea lion's pain. It's time for you to fuck. Yes. Now, have you actually had any of these situations where you've actually just wanted to hand these books to somebody?
Probably.
Oh shit! I crushed my balls.
I'm thinking of newspapers all over the place.
The best fart of all. Yep, that's a good one. I fucking wished I pulled out. Grover, we all know the pain. Uncle Tim's inappropriate stories. Did I ever tell you kids about the time I got robbed by a hooker in Taiwan? That's a good one. You're the biggest piece of shit in our solar system. All right. I'm on the guest list. It's to your mom's bedroom. That's always a good one. How big is this shit show? Yep. Now, I'm hoping that these books here actually have the prices are correct. You see this book here? It's actually 39 cents originally.
I would say so.
But Nancy Drew, it's not your voyeurism. It's not voyeurism if you're solving mysteries. Nancy Drew.
I love that.
Did you guys ever read Nancy Drew at all?
No.
I read the Hardy Boys, but not Nancy Drew.
Litter clump cookies, always a good one.
You.
I'll eat your face without hesitation.
Yes.
I actually have this
true.
book at my parents' house. I don't know what the original title is, but I know I had this one at some point. Masters of the Universe. Am I the only one here who cleans out this fucking thing's litter box? Yeah, you are. It's Cringer, man. Wow.
I never got into Masters.
Everyone sucks except my cat. Yeah. My cat is a creepy asshole.
Yes.
There's a lot of cat ones in this one. I didn't realize Nancy Drew did so many things. You kind of always want to know what exactly Nancy Drew is really up to. Dramatic farting. There you go, guys. We're back to the fart jokes. Fart jokes never get old. They never get old. They're ridiculous, but they never get old. This city's infested with miserable cunts. Yeah, of course. Yeah. How to speak cat, meow, and the other cat say fuck you. Yeah, all right. Things will suck when we grow up. Yep, that's so true. Are we actually at that stage of our lives? That everything just now sucks?
Yes.
All right, well, what is...
sorry.
What kind of things suck? What is something that you would like to tell your 15-year-old self?
Well, what sucks is that we're young enough to still be fruitful, but we're too old for marketers. Like, marketers don't care about us. It's like we are beyond the demographic. So the only thing that gets advertised to us are like Depends undergarments and erectile dysfunction pills and that kind of thing. Yeah.
So you're basically saying that old. That's really the summary of the whole thing.
We're old, but we're not that old.
Invest in crypto, but get the fuck out by May 2022.
You know, I gotta say that speaking of crypto, have Alan, have you been following the crypto market at all? No, not one iota.
No, it to me it is it's a con. It's I don't know, a pyramid scheme or something. I don't know. You're investing in something that doesn't exist. Like, it's not real. What do you invest? Like, it's a bubble. Like, I don't get it.
I mean,
you're investing in air.
I mean, right now, all of the evidence is affirming very in the strictest possible terms what you're fucking saying there. You know, it's one of those things where it's not always clear whether you're flying or falling. But there is a super yacht that was fully specced out by the guys from Three Arrows Capital, and it's sitting there. They can't afford it anymore. They are so far as latest reporting, they are in hiding.
Yeah,
they managed to vaporize $1 trillion.
Well, I don't. Did they vaporize $1 trillion? Did that $1 trillion ever exist?
Bankrupt if you're Trump and your casinos don't work. I mean, you know, it is amazing to be able to lose money at a casino when you own it. But that aside, these guys managed to vaporize $1 trillion. That's a bankruptcy.
Well, I mean, it's so true, right? I mean, you've got when you have a bit of money and then suddenly you don't. I mean, that in the crypto market, that happens
all the time,
every day. It's really kind of sad, actually, because you have all of these would-be millionaires who are getting rich off the backs of, well, essentially dumb people, to be honest. But I mean, I've said it before on the show. I don't mind crypto because I think the technology is something interesting. I just think it's been misapplied, and it got turned into yet another stock market with no regulation really whatsoever.
None.
So,
I think blockchain.
Let's be clear. Blockchain is the technology, and that's
absolutely there's so many ramifications of that.
Yeah. But crypto per se, it does look a bit like the South Seas bubble, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
So what should blockchain be used for? What would be a good application for the technology?
Well, I think it needs to be developed a little bit more, but I could see it being used in having medical records be available to patients online. Because I mean, there's whole privacy concerns regarding that. You don't want that stuff to get out. But if you apply blockchain technology to it in a certain way, you can make sure that it's going to the right people. In the future, maybe you could vote an election using blockchain technology. You know, online.
That's not a bad idea.
The uses. I
mean, there definitely will be a few things you need to do, but yeah.
It needs more development. And unfortunately, I mean, as much as I don't like crypto is what's driving this development of blockchain technology. So it's kind of like an evil that we have to stick with as a means to an end. But I think there's going to be huge ramifications for blockchain technology down the road. We just have to get through these growing pains to get there.
I would agree with that. I mean, it's still a very new tech.
That sounds like that is one of the more reasonable things I've heard said about the situation in the last couple of weeks. I mean, you're right. The potential is very considerable. But yeah, I mean, we're sort of scratching the surface and scratching mostly because of the itch. Like it's tied, right now to a kind of a get rich quick.
And I thought I couldn't speak earlier.
It's a witchetty crickety boo. It's a get rich quick scheme,
Right.
Is the way it's manifested itself so far. But
And a lot of people have gotten rich really quick with it, but
Like I
many
said,
more have lost everything.
get out by May 2022.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
those people that were investing in that video game store that I can't think of the name of at the moment. GME
GameStop.
or whatever they're called.
GameStop.
And a lot of people jumped on board. They made the stock rise all the way. Well, actually, let's see what it's doing right now. So GameStop stock is currently at $40. So GameStop was essentially what happened was, for those who don't know, and I can barely understand it myself, but essentially they had like a stock that was worth, somewhere in the neighborhood of like $1, like $2, that kind of thing. And some dude decided that he was going to short it, I think is how you describe it, where essentially he bought up a whole bunch because he wanted to be able to short it so that he could make a quick buck. And I guess people got wind of this. A bunch of stock nerds got a wind of this, and they decided no, that was not going to happen. So the stock, I believe, from what I understand, went up to like $90 or something.
Oh, I think it went up higher.
This is like a year ago, but I seem to recall it like whatever the thing they invested in, it got up to like $150 or something, which basically meant that the guy who was trying to short it suddenly owed a whole bunch of money and couldn't afford to pay it, so he lost a lot. So anyway, he lost a bunch of money, and then it all just went, tits up from there. And
the closest analogy I can see. Do you guys remember the show Silver Spoons?
Yeah, totally.
So,
Schroeder.
Yeah. So there was an episode where Ricky Schroeder and his friend, who was played by a guy, he's in Ozark, and
Really?
What?
The
Who?
Father in Ozark?
Yes.
Jason Bateman?
Yes, Jason Bateman. Thank you.
Okay.
Jason Bateman was in Silver Spoons, where him and Ricky Schroeder came up with this plan to take the most worthless baseball card in existence, which was Tommy Lasorda of the Los Angeles Dodgers, buy all of them, as many as they could, so that they could set the market price for the Tommy Lasorda baseball card. So they could artificially create a demand and remove all the supply for it. So that's the closest analogy that I can see. It ultimately failed. Nobody wants a Tommy Lasorda baseball card. But yeah, that's kind of similar. Not really, but.
Well, I mean, there is that sort of issue with artificial demand and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it could happen.
It's called speculation.
Part of the difference, of course, is that a baseball card you could potentially, set it on fire or something. Like, what would you do with crypto if it's not? You know what I mean? Like, when crypto loses its value, what's left?
Nothing.
Well, yeah.
Air. The same thing that you started with. It's not real. It doesn't exist.
But there's a coin, right?
It's a figment of your imagination.
So there's no coin? I can't just go to the bank and cash it in?
No.
Currency is all, to some degree, a figment of your imagination. It's a consensual hallucination. Something is something that we've agreed to.
The $5 bill that I have in my wallet is not the actual paper is not worth the $5 that's printed on it. Like, I can exchange it for $5. But that actual note is not worth $5 in material. So yes, you are correct, but it is still a tangible commodity. And
how is this possible?
How
is this possible? Tell me more.
As you know, banks don't transact with each other by sending actual piles of notes around most of the time. It's a signature on a page, if it's even still a page.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, all of our transactions, most of them are done electronically now. I mean, most of us don't deal with cash.
Yeah.
So in that sense, our currency, our government's sanctioned currency, is kind of like crypto, but at least it has some backing to it.
If you're in Costa Rica, it is crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah, Costa Rica agreed that they were going to use Bitcoin as their national currency.
Really?
They did that. There were knock-on effects in the U.S. where they have statutes that state that, in fact, uniform statutes adopted by all the states. So this is very widespread as a problem. That the language is, if you're going to perfect a security interest in foreign currency, the only way to do that is by physical possession. If Bitcoin is a foreign currency, all of a sudden, now you need physical possession in order to perfect security interests in it. Oh, hadn't thought about that, had we? So the statute kind of ended up having some effects that nobody really anticipated. But that was due to a policy decision by a foreign country of the U.S. So yeah, no. Did Canada have any statute like that? I don't think so. I don't think that's affected. I don't think we have anything. Well, I don't know. I haven't actually checked. I wonder. Do we have? What are the rules for perfecting a security interest in a foreign currency in Canada? I don't know. I should look.
I have no idea either.
Like this conversation has suddenly gone way beyond my knowledge level. Shane, are you having some technical difficulties over there?
I apparently am having technical difficulties.
This is my. What does your shirt say? Incidentally, I'm kind of.
This is my happy face, which is Darth Vader looking sad.
I was hoping it said boomstick underneath there, but
this is my boomstick.
A Darth Vader face is good. I like Darth Vader faces.
Shane, you look like that. Looks like a jazzy kind of like album cover.
Yeah, that's my new band. Yeah. It's called Jazzy Album Covers.
Yeah.
We're a pretty good band. We're not too bad. What the hell? Okay, stay like that. Don't move.
Shit. Holy shit! You're lip syncing to your own voice.
Isn't that how talking works?
Oh, wait a minute. Are you say more things? Say more things.
I'm going to say some more things, like this
Yeah, no,
is my happy face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
no.
Alan disappears.
Oh,
Best episode ever. Alan has beamed in.
Oh,
Captain
God.
Ford to the Farragut. Beam to the beam up.
One thing I wanted to mention, Beer Fest, which is coming up very quickly, has made some announcements for what we can expect during the show. And one of them I find kind of interesting. So there's going to be a minimum of 95 breweries, which is a bit of a step back from the last one. I think the last one they had like over 110 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So it's a bit of a step back, and I'd kind of expect that first one after 3 years. There's going to be, I think they said at least 250 different beers. But one thing that's interesting is there's going to be an inflatable obstacle course.
Sorry, what?
An inflatable obstacle course. Now, I'm assuming this is going to be like one of those inflatable things that you'd find at children's parties. I question how wise it is.
Will there be a bouncy castle?
Yes, there may be a bouncy castle, basically.
That won't result in people puking at all.
Exactly.
Nothing like being
if I go on this thing, I'm going on like very early on in the festival because I don't want to go into like this puke later on. It's going to be sticky with like because everybody's got to hold on to their beer cup, right? So there's going to be like beer spillage everywhere, and
it'll be gross. It'll be gross. It's like going to a public bathroom or going to a bathroom at an airport.
It's like they may as well
every 45 minutes.
Right in the
yeah,
middle
no, you don't.
Anyway, I think it'll be interesting to at least see. It might be like fun entertainment.
Well, it's too bad Locke won't be there. Only you and I and my parents, I think.
No Dave.
And my sister, I think, too. Dave, I suspect is going to puss out, but, you know, he does that almost every year. So,
but I will say this, in all the years that I've gone, and yeah, I mean, people get really inebriated at this thing, but I've never seen anybody like get sick. Actually, at the
neither
event.
have I. It seems to be relatively controlled.
Well, I mean, yes,
you know. Look, let's be honest. Unless you're of the trust fund persuasion, you know, like those tokens don't come for free, and you know those glasses of beer are not huge, so you get to try a lot of different beer, but it's not an optimal way to get yourself posed. Like it's you know it's not like there's a lot of value for money in terms of the
no. But I do tend to walk away from the thing, basically unable to function for like the next 24 hours at least. Like the rest of my weekends are right off.
Right.
Yeah.
The entire weekend because we're old.
Even when I was younger, at least certainly the next day was a write off. But I mean, I used to have like. And they're little 4-ounce tasters, so I would have probably about 20 to 25 of those. And really, when you think about that, that's like 2 growlers.
If you think about it, 25 out of 250, that's you're narrowing it way down, aren't you?
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. So last time I didn't have nearly that. I think we had probably like about a dozen each.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to go up from that a little bit. I'd like to try a little bit more than that, but I think the tokens are like $2 each now, so that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not a cheap drunk.
No.
No, that is true. Ugh.
All right, Shane.
On that note, I gotta go, boys. I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. I'm actually.
Lips are no longer syncing with your voice, so it's time to
Great.
go.
That's awesome. But anyway, we'll be back next week. Don't forget to come by and don't forget to tell people about the show because we do this all for fun. And if you want to tell us what to drink, we will try and get it and we will drink it. And then we'll tell you all about it. Because that's what we do.
And there will be shouting.
And there will be shouting and screaming. And of course, we will be probably, also crying like young children. Yeah. So thank you all for coming by. And as always, Alan, pretend that you're taking us out.